And can we enter a new one? Even if we're not logged in, that would be a problem, right? Let's try it. So we get an error. Not a great one here, but at least nothing crashes. So let's go ahead and log in, or register actually. We'll do Ketzerin. And then when she's logged in, now she can make a new summary, submit, and we get a new summary. So it looks like the final thing to do really for this project is to be able to like. So let's make a little button here. That'll be our first objective. Turn this into a button where you can like and then display the likes. So let's do that. So where is this component? Right here. So instead of this being a p tag with likes, I'm going to make this just a button with the emoji of a like. Save that. And now here, I actually want the number of likes currently for each of these summaries. How can we access that? And if we don't know, where can we look? Ketzerin, any ideas there? Where can we go ahead and try to find out how we can access the number of likes right now?
Looking on the back end.
Sure. Where in the back end do you want to look?
Yeah, I think on Prisma, on Light here, and like with the user ID.
Yeah, so we have a nice table or a nice model for likes. We have a like router to be able to create a new like. We have a summary router to be able to get summaries. But how do we know if we have access to the number of likes in the summaries? How can we check that out?
Console log summary.
Yeah, let's take a look at that, see what that looks like. So I console.log summaries, and I don't have access to the likes. So how can I manipulate my backend to be able to get access to the likes? Hara, how can I manipulate this code block to give us the likes?
Would you add it to the include as
Yeah.
likes? I forgot what it's called.
Likes.
Likes,
So
yeah.
we'll do true. Yep. And I think that's it. We'll refresh this and see if that worked. And it did. So now we have access to the likes, which is an array of objects. So over here, how can I show the number of likes? If we know that likes is an array of objects in each summary. Kimberly?
I think you put likes in the curly braces.
If we put likes, we're going to get an error.
Oh.
But remember, this is what each summary looks like. It has a property called likes, which is an array of the likes. So any other ideas there?
Summary.
Summary dot.
Likes.
Likes is an array. So how can we get the number of items in an array?
An empty array.
The number of items in an array?
Oh.
Dot length.
Yep. Yeah, good assist. Okay, so now these all have 0, which maybe they have 0. Maybe we've never liked them, right? That could be true. So that's fine for now. Maybe we'll have to revisit that. Anyway, when I click on a button, I want to send a like. I want to send a like. But before we even kind of think about that, how can I just, when I click this button, I want to fire a function that says console.log, I'm going to send a like. How can I wire that up, Ryan?
You want an on click, and then you can put a callback function in there with your console log.
Yep, I'm going to define it outside because it might be a few lines. And then any ideas? Oh, well, let's do our first objective we set out. I'm going to like. So I click like. Let me clear this so we can see. I'm going to like. Nice. Now, how can I actually send a request to the server to create a like? Monica, how can I send a request to the server to create a like?
Do you? I don't remember.
How do we ask the server to do anything from the front end? What built-in function?
Fetch?
Yeah. And then what's the location of our URL that we have stored?
API.
Yeah. And then what is most likely, without even us looking up, what's the logical path we would hit to create a like?
Would it be /summary/likes or?
I think we
No.
did just /likes, but if we don't remember, we can check our server. And yeah, we just have likes. Yeah.
Okay.
And then in our like router, we just have a post request for likes. Yep. What is the data type of the optional second argument here, Monica?
It's not request and send response, right?
No, it's not. Yeah, that's on the back end. So we
Method?
have an object. Do you know what method we're going to do? Which HTTP verb to create a new like?
To create a post.
Very nice. Other properties we need in this optional second argument. Jazz? What else do we need to give? We can actually refresh our memories with ThunderClient if you guys wanted. So how did we created a like yesterday manually, right? Would that be helpful to do again? Or we can try to do it from here, see what happens. What do you think, Jazz? What else do we need to give it to create a like?
Do we add like the head? No.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh.
Headers, which is an object, and what properties do we need for headers?
Authorization.
Yep.
Oh.
So authorization, and the syntax for that is a little weird. What's the format?
Bearer. And then you add the token.
Yeah, so now I'm realizing we need access to what?
The token.
So how can we get that? So here's where the token lives right now. And we're passing it down to context already.
Oh, okay. And then you just add it as an out in the outlet.
Yeah.
Cons.
Token. Yeah. Okay, so now we have access to token. Very nice. There's one other thing we need in the header. Any ideas there, Rodrigo? Because eventually we're going to need a... What's that?
Content type.
Yeah, content type. Application/JSON. Very nice. And I think a final property we need is what? Jiang.
I'm thinking we don't need anything, but
What property?
think we need body. I
Yep, body. And whoops. And what properties, and you can use this as a reference. What does, to create a new what do we need to give the endpoint?
Is it a summary ID?
Yeah. So now I'm realizing we need what?
Yeah. We have summary.
So we need summary ID here. Summary exists here. How do we pass it to this function? We need it here in this function. We're calling this function here, and we're mapping through summaries here. So we need to somehow give.
We can put and then the argument there.
Yeah. What do I add here?
Summary.id.
Yeah, very nice. And then here, what's a good name for this parameter?
Summary ID.
Yep. And there we go. I think that's everything it needs, right? Yeah. So let's see what happens. Well, first, this is going to return a promise. So let's check that out. Whoops. Okay.
Max, I have a question.
Yeah.
Do we need to JSON stringify the body normally? Why aren't we doing it in this case?
Because I forgot. Yeah. Okay, let's see what happens. I'm trying to I'm logged in as Ketzerin. I should be able to and I got an error. API is not defined. How can I fix that? Alex? API is not defined. Yeah, so I'm going to auto import it. I'm going to try again. Success, true. I like that. But what don't I like? What's bad about my user experience, David?
You have to refetch so that it updates the like.
Yeah. So how can I refetch?
Call fetch again.
Fetch what? There we go.
Oh, fetch summaries.
Yeah. And it's already being passed to context. So to use it, though, I got to ask for it. Okay, let's try again. If we refresh, we should see the 1. And now I can go ahead and like. But if I try to like again, it doesn't let me, which is nice. That's actually what we want. We could show an error message, users already liked or something, but I don't know. This isn't a pretty app, right? It's just functional. So I think we might be good there, except what else do you guys notice that we're not really done yet?
Oh, Max, I have a question. So
Sure.
Shouldn't we, if we press the like button again, shouldn't we take off our like?
That's a really good point. We should. Yeah. Do you guys want to do that? We can. Okay. So let's brainstorm. How do we do? Did this like again? I hope not. How do we do that? So when I click, this is actually a little, well, not super complicated, but I think we can do it. Yeah, any ideas where to start? When we want to click it, we want to delete the like. If there's already a like. There's probably a million ways to do this, but anything come to mind? How would you guys attack this? We can start from the back end, the front end, doesn't matter. No ideas?
Could
It
you
could
do
happen.
like
I think
Right,
Renata
Renata, go
beat you
ahead.
by a second. Yeah,
Yeah.
what do you got, Renata?
sorry, might be a little bit loud. I was just thinking, but maybe this isn't right. Like a state that we would do and like subtract, like for a counter, I guess.
Maybe like an is already or user already liked, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that might not be an awful idea. We might be able to derive that state though. So how could we do that? For each summary, we have the summary right here. Or maybe in here. Has user already liked equals equals what? We have the summary. Well, we don't have the summary. All we have is the summary ID. So instead, let's change this to get the whole summary. And here, this will have to be summary.id. And then here, how can so I want to store in this variable a Boolean if the user has already done a like for this specific summary. How can I JavaScript that?
Like an if statement. So if
Can we do filter?
summary dot like
Summary dot filter.
Summary dot likes dot filter. let's console.log this as we go to see. Yeah. Summary.likes.filter. And what are you thinking for the callback here? Summary.likes. So for every like, if the like dot, do we have the user ID on the like? We do, right? User ID equals
user.id or like.id.
Do we have user.id? Where no. So we need user. And hopefully, remember when I said I don't think we need the user ID, but let's just do it anyway. Now we actually need it, right? So user.id. Now we have to pass the context, the user info. And hopefully user has the ID. I think it does, right? But we can verify that. Let's verify that right now. Let's console.log user. We'll probably get some errors too. Okay, nice. So user ID is this. Oh, and this already worked. We already got an array with one object with our filter. So we already know. So now I can say what here to say, well, I can just do dot length, right? And then I know filter summaries dot map is not a function. What did I do wrong? Summaries dot filter. Summaries dot filter. Won't that return us an array? Then we can just do dot length? No? Oh, because sometimes it'll be... No, why isn't that working? Project line 11. Oh, what am I doing? I'm not. Sorry. I have no idea what I'm doing with that last second. Erase the last 30 seconds. So here, instead of console.logging this, I want to save it as has user liked. And then I'll console.log has user liked. And let's see what that looks like. So that's an array. But now if I just do dot length, I'll either get 1 or 0, right? Here. Yeah. Or 1 or 0. Except as I click, it's becoming it's becoming true. So here, if there's length, I'll return true. And if it's false, can I do that? Okay. Is anyone following what I'm doing? Or okay, cool. Anyway, I did some logic to find out if the user's already liked or not. So now that we have that logic, how can we make a request depending on if they've liked or not? So if they've already liked, what request do we want to send instead of... Ooh, we can actually do this, like let res. So if they've already liked, what do we want to do? And if they haven't already liked, what do we want to do? Oh, but then... Oh, no, we're fine, I guess. Yeah, we're fine. We're fine. Okay. If the user has already liked, what should this request be? Should this request be modified?
Delete.
Yeah. So the method is what?
Get, maybe.
No, delete.
No.
We want to delete their like if they've already liked. Do we need line 24 anymore? Oh, actually we do. I was thinking we don't. We do, right? Does anything else have to change? Okay, let's see if this still works. So if something Ketzerin hasn't liked, she can still like. Very nice. But if she's already liked, nothing happens because our backend has no idea how to respond to this. So switching to our backend, I'm going to copy the like router.post. And how do I have to modify this to make it handle a request to delete now?
Change it to delete.
Yeah. And then what has to change here?
Then you can just get rid of that, right? Or...
No, because I need to delete this from the database, which I'm not used to doing. So let's see. I see delete. That sounds good. Should we try that? Hopefully this is the same format. Yeah, where? Oh, but we don't want... Here we really should have the ID of the like, right? I think we need the ID of the like here. So we don't need... Oh, this is interesting. We don't need summary ID anymore. We need what? We need like ID. So how can we now get the like ID in here?
Change it to like ID.
Correct, but do I have access to the like ID? Maybe.
Would it be summary.likes.id? Maybe.
No, summary dot.
Like ID?
Summary. Summary is an array. Or sorry, summary is an object with a property that's an array of likes. I think we need to split this up to find the like first off. Shoot, this might have bit off more than we can chew, because then, well, no, we can just do summary.likes, grab the first one, and do the ID. Let's just try to do that. That might not be great, but let's try to do that. Let's see what errors we get. Okay, so Ketzerin has already liked this, and that did not work. But let's console.log info, see what the error is. So success false, a Prisma database error with the delete. Oh, unknown argument data. So I can't do data. I have to do what? What does this actually look like? Oh, where, and then ID, like ID. Okay, let's try again. And Ketzerin wants to remove her like. Yeah, it worked. Who knows if this is actually secure, though. The real question is, can someone else now remove her like? Let's see. So on this one, Ketzerin has a like on this one. But then if I log out and log in as max2, can I, does anyone remember what project we were on? Spammer, this one. Now, can we remove Ketzerin's like, or will this do another like? Ah, worked well. Yeah. So it actually works.
Can you show what you did to fix it again?
Yeah. First things first, we have some logic to determine if a user that's logged in has already liked a specific summary. So they're clicking this button and this function's firing to handle like. So if they've already liked, we want to send a request to delete their like. But if they haven't already liked, we want to send a request to create a new like. So it's actually not too bad in hindsight.
And then you're in the body, you're sending like ID is equal to summary.likes index0.id.
Yeah, this feels like it's cheating, kind of. But it's working, so why question it? But this feels brittle to me. I bet we could break it if we really tried hard. Yeah, that part of the code is not, I don't have a lot of confidence in.
Can I see you delete on the back end real quick? So,
Sure.
Because
We just copied the create one and just changed it to delete and changed this. Okay. Any other questions on that? Or I'd like to deploy, I think. Yeah. Keep it pretty simple. Or, I mean, this final thing was not that simple, but it was interesting. All right. So, yeah.
Sorry, this is like unrelated to everything, but like, is there a way when you enter a password so it doesn't show what you're typing in? Like it just shows asterisks instead of a...
Yeah, for sure. So on the front end, if we go to new summary and the text area, we do, oh, sorry, what am I talking about? In the login, instead of type equals text, we do type equals, it should be password, right? Yeah, password, Now it hides it for us. Yep. Good question. Other questions? All right, let's try to deploy this. Let's try to deploy the front end first. So the front end is a React application, right? So you guys have always done like npm run builds, but kind of the more sophisticated way to do this is to push this to a GitHub repo, which I've already done. And then we can use, oh, whoops. Can we force it? Yeah. And then we can still use Netlify, but we're going to deploy from a repo instead of manually dragging it over. And this is just more realistic. So let's do a new site. And this is called Resume Meet Lecture. GitHub is so slow sometimes. And it can't find it. Why not? Resume Meet. Resume Meet front end lecture. There it is. What does it say 2 days ago though? Anyway, let's try to deploy it. So we can leave everything the same. Click deploy. Any questions while that's working?
Max, I have a question.
Sure.
I feel like the way you're accessing the likes array at 0, wouldn't that just go for the first like no matter who owns it?
Yeah, correct. That's why I said I don't like that code.
I see.
Yeah, you're totally right. Where is it? We should fix that because that code is not good. Where is it? Where project? Yeah. So let's do this better. So first we want to find the like, right? So let's go to summary.likes and do find, and we're looking for the like that has a user ID that's the same as our user ID. There we go. That's better, right? And now instead of this, we do like.id, I believe. Wait, and then we can get rid of all this, right? And we can just say if like. Somebody following that logic? Would this work?
So basically, if we find a like, that means that we would have to delete it, otherwise we would create one. Kind of.
Yeah. I think this logic will work, but who knows? Let's try. So let's run this again and see if our likes still work, because this logic is way cleaner. Resume Meet. We're not logged in, but we can log in as anyone. Doesn't really matter. Sure. So on Wikipedia, I want to like Hara's post, and it does not work. Res is not defined. Line 32.
Oh, it's because you needed that let res still, I think.
Oh,
on line 19.
Yeah. Okay, try again. Yeah. Okay, cool. That's way better logic. So let's delete this. Yeah. Okay, back to trying to commit this or trying to deploy this actually. Let's push this. And then this is deployed and it's going to refresh automatically because we redeployed it. The problem is we have a bunch of problems, right? There's going to be no, does anyone know why this is showing up right now? The projects, like how is it accessing these projects? Because the server it's connecting to is what? Whoops, that's another thing we have to work on. So let's work on this because maybe it's easier right now. Why did I get this page not found with this deployed React app when I clicked refresh for this path? Has anyone run into this and do they know a solution? There's go ahead.
Is it the same with when I did emoji, or I can't remember.
Yeah.
But I think you need a file DM or something inside.
Yeah, we need like the redirects.
Yeah.
Netlify, React router. I always have to Google it. I never can remember. It's something weird looking. Let's see if it has it here. Yeah, so we need that. So we need to create a redirects file and paste this in there. So in public, we do new file. We call it redirects and we paste this in and we just redeploy. And this is basically saying whatever route your user's requesting, just redirect to / and then React Router will take over from there. So that should fix that. But the other issue I'm seeing is that, where are we? Network. This is requesting from localhost right now. But if I turn off my server here, because eventually the server is not, my computer is going to be off, right? This won't be able to grab all the projects because it's not deployed yet. So how can we tell it? So basically when we're running this locally, we want it to hit localhost 3000 because maybe we're working on development. But if we're not, we want it to hit wherever the server's deployed. So maybe we should deploy the server now. So let's do that. So let's commit the back end. And then and then again, I have to force this because preparation for lecture, I already made changes to this. Okay, so what do we use to deploy our back end? What site? Zach, what site do we use to deploy our backends, our servers?
I think it was either Render or
Render. Yeah.
Remember.
So we're gonna go to new.
Cockroach.
Cockroach is the database. New web service from Git repository, and then we're gonna try to deploy our backend. Whoops. Click connect. I'm going to call it resume meet backend lecture. What do I have to put here for Bill? Oh, this one, I might actually not need to check that. But what do I have to put here is node index.js. And then what environment variables does render need? Because they won't be available in the GitHub repo. database URL. And JWT secret. And we can try that. I'm sure we'll get errors, but we'll work through them. Like already. Oh, I didn't delete when I was preparing for lecture. Oh, in that case, well, never mind. Let's do number 2, I guess. Okay. Oh, I remember another error we're going to get, but this is good. You guys will see it, and then, because you'll run into this yourselves, so you'll hopefully remember how to solve it. But we're going to get the wrong version one. Yeah. The engine node is incompatible. So how do we fix that, Renata?
You have to type, is it engine?
Yeah, engines. And then, which option?
Node.
And then what do we put here? Do you remember?
No, this part I don't.
Yeah, this is kind of hard. We'll just do greater.
Wasn't it like above 20?
Yeah, we'll do greater than or equal to 20. And if you forget, it's right here. Expected version. Yeah, we could have actually just copied that, but whatever, it's fine. And then we have to recommit. I feel like I'm going fast, so if there's any questions, just stop me, because we're good on time as well. Okay, this will redeploy. we have 2 going because they're both hooked to the same GitHub. I didn't even know that was possible. It's kind of cool. So we can use either one, I guess.
I have a question, Max.
Yeah.
You only migrate when you make changes to the schema, right?
Yeah.
Do any? Okay.
Yeah, but right now we're not migrating. We haven't migrated today. We're deploying our server. Yep.
No, I was just asking because I was assuming that anytime you make a change to the back end, you had to migrate it, but it's just when you make a change to the schema.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Server is up and we can test it. I'm excited to never use render again for the next cohort. I don't like these cold storage loading times. Anyway, so we have this. Go ahead.
Sorry. No, I said there's another site. Some other people told me about like Cyclic. I don't know. They told me that it's a slightly maybe faster load time. So maybe in the future. It's called cyclic.sh.
Cyclic.
CYCLYC. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, for the next cohort, I'm going serverless, so we're just going to use Netlify or Vercel.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay, it's working. Awesome. And if we do /summaries, does it work? Beautiful. Okay, the problem is this. When we run locally and we're developing, we want our local server. But when it's deployed, where do we want it to hit? Which server? Victor, what server do we want our front end to communicate with if it's deployed, do you think?
The link?
Yeah, this basically. So how do I tell it? If you're deployed? Deployed? Question mark. Use this. And if you're running locally, just use that. Has anyone run into this yet? This is kind of cool. There's something built in we can use. So
Hey,
what?
Max, do you need that slash summaries on your deployed link?
No. Yeah, I definitely don't. Thank you. Yeah. So there's something built into like Vite, deployed environment variables. Right here. So, well, let's look at it. So this will be true if it's running in production and false if it's not. So if it's running in production, we want it to communicate with the deployed server. And if it's local, we want our local server. So just with that, we should be good. And these are all things you guys are going to have to do on Reddit and Capstone. Okay. So possibly, there's probably more errors, but possibly both of these are deployed now and maybe should be working. Where's our front end, though? So I think this is our front end. Do we get projects? No, not yet. So, who are you? Oh, okay. It just needed a second of time. Can we like? No, but we're not logged in, so that's fine. Can we log in? Yes. And then can we like? Yes. So we're good. We're full stack application is deployed. And this is kind of bittersweet. This is the last normal lecture. All next week, you're just doing Reddit, and then we're doing like weird interview kind of lectures, not really like practical building full stack applications lectures. So it'll all be like linked list and trees and binary searches. Every day of Capstone, we're going to do mock technical interview practice. So no more code review. So it'll be kind of a fun change, maybe a scary change. Roman?
Oh, no, you answered my question. Thanks.
Okay. Okay, so I think that is it. Final questions? All right. Let's do... let me stop recording. Let me do some breakout rooms.